Okay then, so we are back Tuesday night DTR Division 5 with race number 5 in France. Paul Ricard, as we have the first car out of the track, out of the pits onto the track, which is, I was going to say it's Wardy, but we've got two cars out ahead, which is Benjus. So Benjus is the first guy on track. I don't think he's got to finish in a race this season, so hopefully he'll be able to get over the finishing line today. Everyone opting for the soft tyre at the moment. As we have a look on the old Discord and see what the standings are like at the moment for Division 5 after the steward reports. So we've got Gunnar at the top of the division on 57 points, who is he has managed to make it tonight. His wife is going into labour today or tomorrow, so he was cutting it close to whether he could make it here today, but he has made it. He does want to win this championship, and just behind him is the Haas driver in the pits at the moment, Rob Sue, is just about to is he still in the pits? Yeah, sorry, he's still in the pits. So Benjius is the first guy on a hot lap as we jump on board with him here through sector 1. And Gunnar is behind him on his outlap. So the Williams driver heading up the straight there with the DRS open as he comes towards the chicane to break up this long straight. Let's So it's quite a flat circuit. It's not a circuit I particularly enjoy with long sweeping bends, and it is a tricky circuit to master, especially this part of the track that Benji's is coming through now, this uphill tight long left-hander as these curbs are punishing, and there we go, invalidates his lap straight away, and he will have to try and go again. So I think his teammate Ralph is on a hot lap here as he comes round the final couple of corners, and this is the final turn here of the track as he hasn't invalidated. He's going to cross the line, and P1 for now with a 131.3. so we'll get a track map up so I can see which corner numbers are which, and obviously not very professional. I should have looked at this earlier on, but I've not had time, so I will do it now. So Wardy's on pole at the moment with 130 dead, as Charlie now takes pole, 130.1. Let's have a look and see who is out on track. We're going to go with the championship leader. He is invalidated. Gunnar is invalidated here. He's not going to be able to set a lap on his first run, wasting a set of soft tyres, as he will make his way back to the pits. And we've got a yellow flag somewhere. Oh, just cars letting each other pass down here in sector 1. As Charlie is back on his in lap to bring the car back after his pole position time. So Hammond sets a good time of 130.6. That's half a second slower than Charlie in P1, and that pushes Wardy and Ralph down to P3, P4. So Grabari's up there in his customary P5 position, seems to be there quite a lot. And Luca on the medium tyre setting a good time of a 31.5 as he comes back into the pits. So Relly is in the pits. Rob Sue is on a hot lap, so second in the championship here Robsu. Currently coming through sector 3, just 2 or 3 more corners to go, and we'll see where Robsu can put it. So Robsu's just about to cross the line, and he puts it in P3. P3, so that's half second, just over half second again from Charlie. So here we go. We've got the track map. I know which corners. We've got 2 DRS zones on this track. One down the home straight and one in sector 2. Up the back straight there, as well as we have a look, see who is on a lap at the moment. So Tom, the second of the Haas drivers, he is currently heading his way through sector 2 up to turn 10, and this is the first section of the long sweeping bends. Well, it's difficult to find where to turn in. So he runs a little wide there, doesn't invalidate, which is good for him. Misses the apex a little bit, and yeah, these long bends are really difficult, and he's just a bit far away from the apex on some of the corners here, as he hooks up the last 2 a lot better there, and he heads down the home straight to see what time he can put in. So he's P9 at the moment, 131.6. Just done 3 laps on those softs. We will have a look around who is yet to set a time. So Elliot's still in the pits. Benjius has gone out again on an outlap. Exile 77, the guy with all the pace, but puts it into P2. He's had a few issues in multiple races where he is clearly the fastest guy on track, but ends up in all kinds of trouble through his own fault and being in the wrong place at the wrong time, as well as Jens goes P2 here with a 30.4, still 2 or 3 tenths off Charlie, who's setting a good pace up there. He's currently P1, so we've got the championship leader in the pits, Gunnar. He'll be looking to get out as soon as he can to get a banker lap in, and then set a good time to get up there with Charlie and try and keep on top of this championship. So we've got Pete the Pirate. He's on a hot lap at the moment for Ferrari, but he has invalidated. We've got BB Baldy, he's on an outlap as well. Man Like Donkey's just heading out of the pits, and Benjius is on a hot lap, so we'll jump on board with him. I think we've got a couple of cars coming across the line shortly, which I think is... So Lightchin comes in the pits. Ralph is... and Wardy is going to be heading over the line, but I think he's lifted here for some reason. But so yeah, so it's still Charlie in P1, and we'll go back. So Relay Luca, he is currently P11, not improving on his lap time on this current lap, and looks to be struggling around here. He usually has really good pace, top 3, top 5 kind of pace, but does seem to be struggling, and I think if you put too much front wing on here, it will damage your lap time quite a bit. So Benjius now goes up into P2 for the Williams driver, getting in between Charlie and Jens there at the top of the pack. So let's see what Relay Luca can do. He needs to get up there to support his teammate, the AlphaTauri driver of Charlie. So Relay Luca's third in the championship, 45 points. He is just 12 points behind Gunnar and 7 points behind Robsu, so does need a good qualification here. And he improves there to P7. Let's see who else is on a lap, because we've not seen anything from Rally yet, who's still in the pits. Grosbear, he's 3 tenths up, so we'll stay on board with the McLaren driver as he comes through sector 2 chicane here. A lot of these curbs are quite flat, but they do have a little bit of a bump to them, and they can catch you out if you're turning too much on them. Oh, as Grosbear goes off. That's unfortunate for him. He was up quite significantly on his lap time, which would have put him at least P10, P9, I think, from what we could see. He's got yellow flags in sector 2 from people letting each other past, I think. And who's coming over the lines? We've got a Mercedes coming over the line, which I think is Nova here. Runs a little deep, not invalidated. And he's currently on a 32.1. Can he improve? Which he does, 31.2. That puts him P11 in a great position to start on the alternate strategy if he can keep that position. So we've got 4 drivers at the moment who haven't set a lap time. We've got the 2 Alfa Romeo drivers, Man Like Donkey and Pete the Pirate. As let's see at the guys at the front who is on a hot lap. So Rob improves, he goes P4, just knocking Exile 77 down a position. As Jens coming through sector 2. We'll see if the Delta is up here. Can he mount a challenge on Charlie, who's still sat in the pits there, and nobody's really getting close to his time yet. As Jens begins to lift, I think, through there. So Benji's in the pits, as I think Rob's who is on an in-lap. Yeah, he's invalidated, so he's on in-lap. We've got Exile on an out-lap at the moment. Hannah's almost 1/10 up as he approaches the finishing line, and he goes P5, knocking Exile down to P6. So that's a great lap from the Ferrari driver here, and Exile has just begun his hot lap, so we'll jump on board with him. Like we said, this is one of the faster drivers in the division, and if anyone can mount a pole position challenge here today, it is Exile. He got distracted a little bit by Baldy there, as Baldy takes a scenic route, and a McLaren driver going taking a scenic route as well, as they get out of the way of the Alpine driver who is on a hot lap, and Relay Luca moves out the way as well. See, with Exile, he gets a rather sloppy exit here out of the final corner as he crosses the line, improves the position there up to P5. So I do believe we've got the Alfa Romeo drivers out on track at the moment. Looks like they may be trying to line up a tow, but I think they have to get a little bit closer than that. So both drivers on the medium tyres, going for that alternate strategy, and Gunnar probably looking to see if he can try and get into the top 10 there on the medium tyre. So we've still got Charlie P1, and we jump on board Relic because he is on a hot lap actually. I thought both Alfa Romeo drivers were on it, but they're not. So we'll stay with Relic here. So not posted the time yet, and as he comes through the final corner. Kisses the curb a little bit there, which is fine, keeps the car solid on the exit and crosses the line in P18. So that's a 31.6 for him. Does not want to start on the soft tyre, and our championship leader is on a hot lap, so we will stick with Gunnar and see where he can put it on the medium tyre. Can he do better than his brother has just done in the Alfa Romeo? So Alfa Romeo in a very good position in the championship, P1 and P4, looking for a good result today, but both looking to go alternate strategy here as Gunnar runs wide, doesn't invalidate as he comes through these long sweeping right-handers. So we've missed that. Relay Luca has gone on pole. Ran about 1/10 ahead of his teammate Charlie, so AlphaTauri showing some great pace here. P1 and P2 with the Alfa Romeo drivers stuck down here in P18 and P19, so will the alternate strategy be good for the Alfa Romeo drivers, and or is it better to start on the softs and hope for an early safety car? As the alternate strategy is good here, is very powerful, and Gunnar's going to see if he can improve. So he's nearly 3 tenths up already, which will put him just ahead of his brother at the moment. Who's crossing the line? So we've just got a McLaren who's crossed the line. So Charlie decides to pit. Benjis is leaving the pits. I think he's going to be cutting it close to... Oh no, he's just coming in. So Lightshim, he's coming back in as well. It's looking... So Man Like Donkey is up, 2 tenths up at the moment. So we'll stick with him, currently in P12. He's in a great position here actually with the alternate strategy. He'll have the mediums good to go here, and you could see him lift and avoid getting into the top 10. I don't think there's any sign of lifting, so we'll have to see what Man Like Donkey is going to do here. What he's going to put? Oh, P6. That's a great lap time for the McLaren driver, and he will be very happy with that. Not too far off P5. And just getting ahead of Exile 77 there. So that is qualifying done. And oh, Robsy takes pole. Completely missed that. My apologies. And that's by 4 thousandths of a second. Jesus. So the two guys out front extremely close here. Almost getting into the 129s. Almost. So that is qualifying wrapped up, and the interesting thing to know on here is both Alfa Romeo drivers have gone for the alternate strategy. Did not want to use the softs, but it may have been worth doing some qualifying on the softs just to get higher up on the grid, but they will be starting P18 and 19. So a lot of work to do from these 12 male drivers, and yeah, definitely going for the alternate strategy there. So But a great lap time from Rob, who is P2 in the championship. Could put some pressure on Gunnar here. He's only 5 points behind. And yeah, great position for him. But I think the softs only last 5 to 6 laps around here. So all the soft drivers will be hoping for that early safety car. And I think the alternate strategy will probably be medium hard or medium soft or something like that. I suppose it's all safety car dependent to which way they will go. So the drivers are just picking their tyre strategy from P11 downwards and choosing which amount of fuel they want. And I think this track is quite aggressive on the fuel. It is. It does use a lot of fuel, and underfueling could be an issue here, as I experienced yesterday. Went 1 lap below, there was no safety car, and 2 laps before the end I ran out of fuel. So that was a lesson learned before my race tomorrow, as the cars are now on the grid ready to do the formation lap. So going to run through the grid here as we got Rob to pole position. Great time from the Haas driver there, just pipping Relay Luca, the first of the AlphaTauri drivers, with his teammate Charlie. Just behind him we have Benjis, the Williams driver, showing some great pace here. Just needs a consistent race, and I think the chance of a safety car here is slim, and hopefully for him he can bring it home and not retire from this race. Jens, a great lap time from him, the leading Aston Martin driver here, as Man Like Donkey is in P6 with that lap time he put in towards the end. Exile not showing the pace that he had last week around Imola. He's in P7 and we'll have to keep a close eye on him. Hammers UK, he's done well there, P8 with Dirk Norbert, the Mercedes driver, just behind him. Wardy rounds up the top 10 for the Mercedes, as we need to get the data up for the tyres and see what tyres people are running. So yeah, as expected, everyone from P11 down is doing an alternate strategy. We got Nerdy Average Gamer, he is on the medium tyres along with his teammate Skipper. As Ralph, the second of the Williams drivers, he's on the alternate strategy with the mediums as well. Tom Putty decides to go hards for the Haas, as Baldy does the same. Groberi is medium, Lightshim, Reliot and Gunnar all medium as well. And rounding up the back of the pack is the Ferrari driver of Pete the Pirate on those hard tyres. So it looks like one of the drivers had a little bit of an off somewhere. Which is Nerdy Average Gamer. So I'm not sure what's going on here. He's going really slow. The grid is forming as we speak, and they're going to be sat there quite a long time with all their tyres cooling down. So this isn't ideal really from Average Gamer. This is a little strange, as he stops on track. So I'm suspecting he's got a connection issue of some kind. So we've got the lights. Let's see, here we go. 5 lights are out and away we go. So Robsy on pole leads the way here, as Relay Luke and Charlie both get a good start as well. So turn 1 looks pretty clean so far. All the drivers getting through, which is good to see. So we will head back up to the front as we are on board here with Charlie, who has a great view of the battle ahead of him there with his teammate Relay Luca chasing down Robsu. And just behind, the guys have dropped off a little bit already after lap 1, as Exile is chasing down Benji's here with Jens all over the back of him, as Wardy's looking to get a move done here on Man Like Donkey, which he doesn't. He loses a bit of time there. So we've got yellow flags in sector 2, so something's happened at the chicane here. We've got Nerdy Average Gamer, looks like he's having another issue again. He's falling down to the back, and Gunnar is out. Oh my. So full on safety car, and our championship leader is out of the race with Robsu in P1, who is second in the championship. So this is absolutely huge for this championship battle, and Robsu would never wish anyone to retire, but seeing Gunnar retire there for the championship battle, that is, he knows that's extremely good for him. So I'm not sure what happened there, and it looks like Nerdy Average Gamer could have caused some issues out there on track. I'm not sure if he's having any technical issues or not. So got a few guys pitting. I think the alternate strategy guys are pitting as well, so that's a bit strange. I imagine they've all got damage. So Groberi's got no front wing at all, so he's been caught up in some of that, what has gone on in the sector 2 chicane. So he's now P19 with Gunnar DNFing from the race. Just gonna message Gunnar and see what happened there. So it's as you were, Rob Shum still in P1 with Relay Luca and Charlie behind him, the two AlphaTauri drivers. Benji's still P4, Exile P5, Jens P6. I'm not sure if he's dropped a place or not. We'll have a look at places. Positions changed, so yeah, Jens has dropped one place. So I believe someone spun in the corner and Gunnar could not avoid them, so that's super unfortunate for him. He's it's a crucial time in the season, and to be losing a big chunk of points to the other top guys here is going to be absolutely massive. So possibly trying to set the qualifying time on mediums and ending up towards the back, looking like it wasn't the best strategy, but Reliot is up into P13 now, as he's still on his medium tyres. So we're going to have a look at who has stopped at the moment. So only 3 people have stopped. I'm surprised the soft runners didn't stop, because they can only have 4 more laps, maybe 5 on those tyres. Hards would have been an option, or medium, but yeah. So there's the 3 guys at the back who have pitted at the moment, and Lightshim's coming in. He must have a little bit of damage there early on. So, okay, Lightshim pits, decides to go for the intermediate tyre. So we've not noticed any rain, but so it is beginning to spit a little bit, as Lightshim decides to gamble for the intermediate tyres straight away, and he's the only driver who's managed to make the most of that. I'm not sure how they're going to perform, because it looks too dry at the moment. So that answers my question. why was people not pitting on softs, and that's because they was waiting for the rain. I'm not sure how long the rain is predicted for, and this has definitely spiced up this race, because this track can be quite a boring race. Get some DRS trains and it can be a boring watch, but the rain is beginning to spice up this race, and Gunnar, the Rainmaster, is out of it. Unfortunately, we would have loved to seen him do his stuff in the rain, but he has said that he did listen to Reliot's advice of qualify on mediums, and he said he's never doing that ever again, so he's blaming his brother on that one. So I think we should be getting the restart here. Yep, so safety car is coming in. Well, it's gone in, and we are away as Robsu gets a good start here. Let's keep an eye on Leitchim's Delta here across this lap and see how his intermediates perform on this evolving track, which doesn't look wet enough yet, and cars will begin to pit in the next 2 to 3 laps, I think. So I think it's beginning to rain a little bit more now as someone takes the bollard out in sector 1 as we have a look. So I don't think the track is too wet yet. People don't seem to be struggling too much as we head back towards the front, and Rayleigh Luca is sticking with Robsu here as the track begins to get a little more damp as the rain comes down a bit harder here. So Leitchim is up a place here from P19 to P18 on those intermediate tyres. Let's see if he can make some ground up on Peter Pirates. We've got yellow flag sector 3. We've got a Mercedes out at the moment, so that's Dirk Nobert who's out of the race. We should be able to see what has happened here. Where's his car? Where's his car? Not been able to see it on track. But yeah, Dirk Nobert is out, and we resume racing. No safety car. Robsu still in the lead. Rayleigh Luca just behind him. So Charlie's pitted. And this will be for the intermediate tyres, yes. So the guys are beginning to pit now here for the intermediate tyres as we get 3 pit stops here of BV, Baldy, Benjis and Charlie back towards the front. We've somehow got Nerdy Avenger Gamer in the lead. No, so that was a glitch. So back to Robsu in the lead of the race, and Rayleigh Luca is making a move on him here up the back straight, and 77 is just behind them, watching this carefully as they're side by side here into the chicane, and Rayleigh Luca has to back out of that one for now. Good safe driving between the drivers. They're leaving each other space in these tricky conditions as Robsu begins to pull away a little bit from a good exit here. So I imagine all the drivers will be pitting this lap. As you can see on the track here, slight damp patches are beginning to form, which is definitely intermediates, and the guys are struggling around this chicane. Fast right-hander Skipper is out of the race, got a VSC, and this is the perfect time for everyone to pit for the wet tyres, which will compromise Charlie, like Benjius and BV Baldy, who pitted under full pace conditions. So here we go, all the guys begin to pit for these intermediate tyres, and the first 6 drivers will definitely gain from the VSE. This hasn't worked out well for Leitchim here. He wanted everyone to pit under full race conditions, and BV Baldy gets the drive-through penalty there for driving over the Delta, and as we predicted, the VSC really helps the top 6 drivers by quite a bit. So, but the rest of the pack are here, and Charlie back up into P6. So he's lost quite a few places there. Has Charlie in pitting early. If he'd have just waited, he could have pitted under the VSC as well. So lost out a little bit there. I think he made the right call in terms of pitting when he did, in terms of the track condition and the tyres, but just got unfortunate there with that VSC, with Skipper not finishing the race there. So we've got yellow flag sector 2, we've got a stricken so there's a McLaren out, and that's Man Like Donkey who's adding off there with Lightchim. So Lightchim's got no front wing, Man Like Donkey's got no front wing as well. So Guna just messaged me saying he's not happy with his brother Elliot and his bad strategy advice. Really impacts the championship a lot, as the two McLaren and Alpine drivers with no front wing struggle to get back round here. We'll go back towards the front as Robsu is in P1 with Lele Luca just half a second behind him. Going to head down now to Benjius, who is on the back of Hammers UK, fighting for that P6 position. As a lot of the cars become quite spread out, we'll jump on board with Wardy and Tom Putty, as they don't always get as much airtime as some of the guys at the front. So we'll watch this battle here as Lightchim, I think, has just pitted and come out in P12, or oh, so Lightchim does have a front wing. Okay, so yeah, he would have just pitted, I think. As Tom Putty, the second Haas driver, is all over the back of the Alpine, with Wardy all over the back of him. Lightchim gets a 3-second time penalty. The only driver with a penalty actually at the moment, is he goes really wide here up the straight. As that won't help him, as he will get more penalties doing that kind of stuff for no reason, as he may have been breaking the toe a little bit. As he's really beginning to struggle here, so he's both got plenty of ERS to use, and Wardy is just being patient here, knowing Tom will get Lightchim at some point, with no DRS at the moment, with it being intermediate conditions. Oh, so Lightchim's off. Not sure what's happened there, but that's impacted Tom, as he had to take evasive action there. He allows Pete the Pirate through. So a little bit of a moment there. Lightchim gets another penalty as we head back towards the front, as the game begins to glitch, with Nerdy Gamer saying that he's in the lead, but he isn't. This is your race leader, Rob, and he is beginning to pull away from Luca a little bit. We've got yellow flags in sector 3. That's Baldy, who's having a bit of a moment, and Relay Luca is dropping further back now. Exile all over the back of Luca. So Charlie is up to P5 now, after losing out under that virtual safety car. And Hammers there in P6 as the rain continues to come down as Man Like Donkey gets a 3-second time penalty. Benjish is down into 7th now with his teammate Ralph just behind him. I say just behind, 4 seconds behind, as we will take a look at Charlie now right on the back of Jens Hoffert as they come through sector 1, and this is a tricky track in the dry, but in the wet obviously far more difficult with these long swooping corners. And I think there is a move happening up front, yeah, so we've got Relay Luca now dropping down to P4 with Exile, showing how good he is in the rain as he begins to hunt down Robsu there in P1. Really, Luca just lifts there, doesn't want to, had a bit more pace than Exile, but didn't want to cause any contact as Robsu looks like he struggles through that particular section of the track, and Exile is beginning to put the pressure on Rob now for this P1 spot, and all the drivers seem to be managing the ERS pretty well. As some of the drivers begin to get penalties now, we've got 5 drivers with penalties, and can Exile get past the Haas driver? Takes a look, just doesn't have enough speed to get past Rob on that occasion. So the top 3 are pulling away a little bit, with Jens Hoffer there in P4, who's doing a good job of keeping Charlie behind him as the game begins to glitch again and put Nerdy of Average Gamer in P1. So he seems to be having some technical issues here with the formation lap and in the race, where he seems to be glitching a little bit. As we can see here, Exile is much quicker in this section of the track, which is it's like turn 11, long sweeping turn 11 up into here, turn 12. Exile looks like he has the upper hand in this part. So out to the final corner there, turn 15, is head back down the straight, and Exile getting ever closer and pulling away from Real Elika at the same time, and just looking to put some pressure on Rob here and try and force Rob into a mistake if he can. Let's have a look where else on the track we have some battles, as all the field's beginning to spread out quite a bit. But we do have Jens and Benjius here in a bit of a battle for this P7 spot, with Hammers UK and Charlie just ahead. So we'll keep an eye on this one at the moment and see how this one develops in the midfield. So back here with the battle at the front of the pack, we've got Rob Sue just leading the way here, with Man Like Donkey just trying to get out of the way. Bit of a tricky pit exit though, with the drivers coming down the straight wanting that racing line on the right hand side of the track, as he does very well there to get out of the way of this championship battle up ahead. So Robsy a little sloppy through there, loses a bit of traction on the exit, and Exile now trying to get on the pair as soon as he can to try and close this gap on Rob at the front. So Rob is in P1, the game is having a little glitch with Nerdy Average Gamer there. He is, I think he's currently P18 towards the back. So, full blown safety car. So Peter Pirate DNF'd, and where is he? DNF'd on track. Who's the Baldy? I think Baldy may drive past him shortly, so his car's been removed. So it was on the final, on the exit of turn 15, I believe, where Peter's lost the car. Round about here somewhere, as we now get a full safety car. So it'll be interesting to see how people's tyres are looking and if it's worth pitting at all. I think a lot of the guys from P11 down, they may as well pit, and so the guys at the front of the pit, they're all going for fresh inters. Charlie does the opposite, and he will become the race leader on these used intermediates, and he will be, if the track does dry out, he'll be hoping to get these to that point in the race where he can then only pit for the soft tyre or medium tyre, whichever it will be. Benji stays out as well. Jens also stays out. So Robsu was the first of the guys pitting, and loses 3 places to Charlie Benchis and Jens. As Nerdy Average Gamer continues to lag around here, and he's gone in the pits, he's back on the track, and no idea what's going on. So his car is on the track, and the overview was in the pits. So whether or not he's pitted, I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. So we'll go. So Ben just got a penalty. As 3 seconds. So Wardy has somehow got a drive through here. He's missed the delta and gone too fast. Man Like Donkey got a drive through as well. So the penalty's beginning to mount up here. The guys of the drive through may as well pit, put new intermediate tyres on, and serve their drive through after the restart, and try to recover their race from there if they can. So Charlie back up front for AlphaTauri, and depending how much life he has in those tyres, he could do a job in helping to back the pack up a bit, so Relay Luca can gain a few places as well. So the AlphaTauri drivers could really play a good team strategy here. So I think this will be one more lap under the safety car. This will be the last lap, and then we should be getting underway, as Baldy is right at the back. Same Man Like Donkey. Yeah, Man Like Donkey's being lapped, so he's in the middle of the grid. But Wazza did unlap himself last week, and it did work. He didn't get disqualified for it. So, man like Donkey currently in between P8 and P9 here, as he has been lapped, and yeah, pretty sure Wazza unlapped himself last week and the game allowed it, didn't disqualify him, and it really helps you to get out of the way of the other drivers, unlap yourself and give yourself a chance to get back into the race. It's pointless sitting here being lapped with not being able to race, and it's just not fun to be in that position. So if I was him, I would just unlap myself and give it a go and not do that. I would really try to unlap myself and just he has nothing to lose really, as on the restart he will just have to let every single car pass, which will again just not be fun at all. So is the safety car coming in? I don't think we've had any notification of this yet. We have got Baldy quite a way back as Tom begins to catch the pack up. So I think the safety car could do a late call here, because Baldy will get onto the back of this. But no, I think it's too late. He's missed the pit window and we'll have to do one more lap under the safety car. So I will just run through the grid, well, the pack, as Charlie did not pit. He chose to stay out to gain the position, as he's done a one stop. Benjis has done a one stop as well. He's now up to P2 but does have that penalty. Jens is one stop as well with Robsu, the first of the two stoppers there on the fresh intermediate tyres, along with Exile, Relay, Luca, Hammers UK, Ralph, Elliott as well. So then further down we've got a couple of guys on the three stops. So we've got Charlie in P1 with Benjis behind him, Jens Hoffer and Robsu, the Haas driver, just behind him. Felix, I keep saying Felix, Exile 77 is in P5 with Relay Luca just behind in P6. 7 is Hammers UK with Ralph, the second of the Williams driver, just behind him. Elliott now up to into the points, P9. He'll be telling his brother this is the strategy, this is what we should have done, and I don't think Gunnar will be listening to his advice ever again. Grobari is in the points there in P10, wrapping up those points positions, but does have a penalty. So Wardy and Leitchim 11 and 12th with penalties as well. Tom put the only guy P10 to P16 without a penalty at the moment, so you could make some big gains here towards the end. Nerdy Average Gamer is in P14, who is just overtaken by Baldy, who's Nerdy's now P15, so does seem to be having some technical issues, and his battery is 100% deploy used, so he's definitely having some technical issues here with his ERS is showing the wrong information as well. So safety car is coming in and Charlie's beginning to take the role of the safety car. So we'll jump on board with P2 here and see where Charlie does get away. So, oh, on the exit, Charlie has lost it there on those used intermediate tyres. Oh, he just tried to get on the gas a little bit early and he didn't need to do that, as he somehow lands in the pits. So quite fortunate for him, or unfortunate, whichever way he wants to look at it, but he does get to put new intermediate tyres on there. So Benjius is now your race leader with a 1 second gap here down to Robsu. Jens is up to P3. Exile touching his gearbox there all over the back of him as they come through this tricky sector 1 section. So a bit of a train forming here behind Jens as they all struggle to get traction with these cold intermediate tyres, which will take 1 or 2 laps to get warm, as 77 does go past, and really Luca is tempted as well, brakes very late, runs deep, does get a 3-second time penalty for that move. Should have been patient and waited a little bit, but he did have a bit of extra speed on Jens, who now loses 2 places on the first lap of the safety car. So Charlie losing the back end there on the restart, and landed in the pits, so that pushes him down to P15. Relly has had a moment, he's down into P14 now, struggling on those intermediate tyres. So Benji's still out in front in the lead, but Rob is all over the back of him now. Benji's going to struggle to get a podium here with those penalties that he does have. So we'll jump on board with him here, looking from the back, and Rob there just looks like he's got a bit more grip than Benjius. Maybe a little bit more front wing there when he pitted for the intermediate tyres, and Rob isn't gaining a great deal here up the straight, but will be that little bit closer. As Exile really joins his party here for this race battle at the front. Looking through, so Ralph is in a little battle here with Hammer GK and Jens. There's Hammer gets past Jens, who's dropped several places now in the first 2 laps of the safety car. So we've got yellow flags in sector, I'm not sure what sector that was, but so Charlie's right at the back now. Obviously Man Like Donkey is lapped and is so the track is going to stay wet until the end, so it's not going to dry up, we believe. As you can see, the rain is getting heavier and heavier as this track begins to evolve possibly towards full wets now, because it's got a full layer of rain across the track, as 2 of the drivers have gone wets already. Benji's has boxed for wets, and Jens and Lightshim, so they're struggling on the intermediate tyres, not finding the grip that they need, as Exile is now in the lead of the race. Rob must be struggling on those inters. I think they're all struggling, so you can see that layer of rain all across the track, and as it begins to come down quite heavy. So Rob is regaining the lead of the race there, using that ERS down that back straight, as Exile almost touches him here. So Man Like Donkey, 5-second penalty for crossing the pit lane white line. So a bad race for him, unfortunately, as he's all the way down in P16 as more drivers come in for the wet tyre. So Charlie, he is boxed for wets, as I think everyone will be boxing for wets. So Rob should come in, should be coming into the pits here, as yeah, it's clearly far too wet for inters. So I see what Rob does, and Rob decides to stay out, which I think is a mistake. Exile comes in, and that is the right call, I believe. The other drivers are going to struggle on the on what should be their in lap, and Exile should have a quicker lap on his outlap. So we'll have a look at the lap time behind the leader that Exile is and see if he can. Oh, so he nearly loses it coming out of the pit lane there. Needs to get some temperature into those tyres as he begins to get on his way. So he's 22.6 seconds behind, and that gap is, it did reduce a little bit, but we'll keep an eye on it. So he is closing in on the leader all the time. So the top 6 drivers on intermediates are definitely losing time as Exile begins to catch up quite significantly. Benji's now in the prime position here, but again does have that penalty on him. Relay Luca has the penalty as well, as we saw from the chicane overtake that he did, and Exile now below 20 seconds, so taking 2 or 3 seconds out of Rob already on this lap. Wardy gets a 3-second time penalty. So the guys at the front, do they pit? Yes, they do. So Robsu pits. Relay Luca stays out. Is he thinking it'll dry up? I'm not sure. Ralph comes in. Hammers stays out as well. So Benjius now should move up to P3. Right, it should be P2, but oh yeah, so it'll move up to P3 with Nerdy Average Gamer will end up going back to his correct position. So 3 cars at the front who pitted earlier on for the second lot of inters are deciding to stay out and try and make these work as the rain continues to come down. The puddles are not looking too big at the moment, as Exile is now just 15.5 seconds behind the leader, so he's gaining massively every single lap, and the intermediate tyres are just not working here. Too much surface water on the track, allowing Exile to catch up significantly. So we've got 7 laps remaining, and he's took around about 7 seconds of lap time out of the leader in 1.5 laps. So gaining very quickly here, and it must be just the fact that there's 7 laps left. Really, Luke is trying to just do his best to bring it home, and the guy behind him, Hammers, he's on the intermediates as well as a little bit of a buffer there, so I kind of don't blame him for seeing if he can get this to the end, but Hammers does indeed pit. He's struggling too much on that tyre, and now it's just a question of when does Benjius and Exile catch Relay Luca at the front. So got a good battle here. Groberi on the inside of Nerdy Average Gamer, who's lost connection and is beginning to disrupt the race a little bit as we go back up the front, because there's not many battles on track, and once the timing tower sorts itself out, we can figure out. Okay, so he's Benjius is 6 seconds behind the leader at the moment of Relay Luca, who is gambling here, trying to bring it home on those intermediate tyres, and Exile is catching Benjius at the same time. So penalties. So Luca and Benjius both 3 seconds in penalties, so Exile just needs to catch up to these guys, doesn't need to overtake them, and he could secure the win here. Rob is just a few seconds behind him though as he comes into the shot. He's no penalties as well. And Jens having a great race here, the Aston Martin driver. Currently P5, no penalties. P6 behind him has 9 seconds of penalties as he bins it and is out of the race. So this could be full-blown safety car here with 6 laps remaining. Full safety car. Luca is... what is he going to do? He's lost the lead that he had. If he pits, I'm not sure where he's going to come out, so this is going to be quite interesting to see if Relay Luca will pit for the wet tyres. You cannot win the race on the intermediate tyres at the restart, I don't think, and he opts not to pit, so he's staying out on the intermediates there, and Benjius and Exile will be right on him on this safety car restart. Gunnar will be glad to see Robsu in P5 at the moment in terms of the championship battle, with Robsu being just behind Gunnar in the championship by 5 points there, and then we've got Relay Luca on 45 points but could struggle to... oh my god, Relay Luca's got a penalty just as I'm saying he may struggle to bring it home on those intermediate tyres. He's got a drive through which is going to destroy his race now, so that's brilliant for Gunnar in terms of the championship. Relia is in 4th in the championship at the moment on 30, it looks like 38 points, and he's currently in P8, which should be P7 really once Relay Lucas serves his penalty. So behind Relia you've got Charlie. He's on 36 points along with Exile on 36 points as well, and his teammate Lightshim just behind him in P7. So in front at the moment we've got Benjius in P1 with that 3-second penalty, in Exile just behind him there with no penalties and fresh wet tyres. So great position for him and Rob, and Jens just behind as we have a look at the tyres. And yeah, so everyone's in a great position there as Relay Luca he's gambled, fresh intermediates, he has nothing to lose. He has got a drive through that he will need to serve anyway, so his race has been is practically over really. Man like Donkey's having a bad race as well with 13 seconds penalties and has been lapped as well. Charlie had a very unfortunate restart under the safety car. He was in P1, lost the back end a little bit and just ended up in the pit lane. So a bit of fortune there for Gunnar, watching on after DNFing on lap 1 here, as some of his title rivals from the AlphaTauri team have made a few mistakes and will be losing a whole chunk of points from that, so they won't be able to gain on him at all, if not by very little, as I think Charlie's looking to get past Nerdy Average Gamer, who's disconnected and is causing disruption to the race. So we do have a good podium battle here, assuming all goes well for Exile and Robsu trying to get past Benjus, who has that, you know, they just need to stick with Benjus to get the podium positions. Then it's a question if Jens, Hoffer and Ralph can stay within 3 seconds of Benjus to try and leapfrog him for a podium place. So that'll be an interesting one to see unfold, as I think the safety car may come in. Will it come in this lap, or if it doesn't come in this lap, I think it'll definitely be coming in the next lap. So yeah, really Luca's got to save that drive through, which has totally wrecked his race there. He was trying to stay on the intermediate tyres to try and get the race win, but made a mistake there under the safety car. There's Benjus, the race leader for the Williams, is looks like we're going to be doing one more lap under the safety car, and then we should restart the next lap. We go back to the front, getting ready for this safety car restart as we're on board with Exile 77 here. P2 at the moment, no penalties, and obviously they're P3 with no penalties as well, so this is quite big for the championship, with Guna being out of the race from lap 1. As Benjus comes around the final corner, hoping not to do a Charlie there, which he does not, and gets a good start there as the Alpine driver struggles to grip, but has a good gap there between him and Rob as they head down into turn 1 and 2. As the game tower does begin to glitch again with average gamers, so they'll go back to normal as we will head back down the pack and see what is going on. So we've got yellow flag sector 1. Can't see on the track map who has caused that, but there's a good battle here for this P4 position with Ralph, Hammers and Tom. They're all fighting for that position, so good aerial shot here from the helicopter, and Ralph is now taking a little look at Jens up this back straight, who breaks the toe a little bit and defends on this time around. So Jens did lose a few positions last time under the safety car restart, but he will be looking to try and keep his position this time, as the Aston Martin driver is having a great race there, but does have a few cars waiting in tow just behind him. So Rob is beginning to catch up the battle at the front, with Benjis holding up Exile, it would seem, as the Haas driver looking to take the lead in this championship with some good points here. So the lead that they have over Jens is nearly 5 seconds now after one lap. So this final podium position, which Jens has dropped out of now because Benjis has a 3-second penalty, but Jens is obviously not close enough to Benjis, nowhere near. So this is your podium places at the moment, with Exile winning the race, Rob in P2 and Benjis dropping down to P3. So we've got Benjis, who is the driver that has not finished a race yet, I don't think, in this Division 5 season. So no, he's DNF'd in all 4 previous races. Rob takes a look at Exile round the outside, but he probably won't get it done here, as Exile just closes the door a little bit on him through that chicane, and they will go at it once again, no doubt. So this is the last lap of the race. So Rob trying to get this race win on that back straight, just couldn't make it stick, and Benjis runs a little deep here, so Benjis is holding Exile up into Rob on certain corners, which Exile won't be too pleased about, but he's still in this net P1 position as they come through the final section of the track and the final corner, and all 3 of them get a clean exit here. So Benjis wins on track, but will drop down to P3. Exile will win the race with Robsu in P2, and Jens does cross the line in P4 with Hammers UK behind with a 6-second penalty, but he does drop down a few places now. He's dropped down to P8 at the moment. So great result from Tom here in the Haas P7. I'm not sure actually if Nerdy Average Gamer will even get the P6 here, because he was disconnected for all the race, I believe. So Tom will get that P6 position, as Reliot will be P9. So ignore Nerdy Average Gamer's position, I think, and everyone below him will gain a position. So that'll be first points for Baldy, I believe. Baldy will have a P10. You have 3 DNFs in a 12th place, so Baldy will get some points on the board at last. So Reliot, driver of the day, despite his brother not agreeing with his strategy in qualifying, is Exile, the race winner there on the podium. So Rob will take the lead of this championship, that will put him up to 70 points, I think, and that'll be a 13-point lead over Guna. So Guna fortunate with Relay Luca and Charlie having some bad mistakes there, which put them out of the points. So AlphaTauri was looking really good in qualifying and in the race they was looking pretty good, so but made a few mistakes and they've dropped down there into P13 and 14. So Exile wins the race with Rob Sue just behind him in P2. Benjius is in P3. Great podium for him after DNFing in every single race, so the podium is brilliant to see for him. And Jens, a great result for him in P4. Shame he didn't have the pace there to keep up with the front three and try and get that final podium place, with Ralph having a good result as well. Tom will be P6, and then it's Hammers, Wardy, Reliot and BB Baldy rounding up the points there. So that's it for Division 5 this week. You can see some Division 2 and Division 4 action tomorrow, and Division 3 on Thursday. So that is it for tonight, and we will see you tomorrow.